if you eat healthy 80% of the time, which means you still go out, you eat popcorn or French fries or whatever 20% of the time, you exercise regularly 4 to 5 days a week, and you get plenty of rest and drink lots of water, more than likely that's going to be beneficial to you as a whole.
Oh, in a full year, and that lets you save. Okay.
Welcome to a brand new edition of Ageless Energy, where we talk about how to burn fat, increase energy, and balance hormones for women over 40. Over the past 20 years as a performance coach, I've worked with hundreds of women that have the exact same struggles you do. I hope to shine some light with this podcast on what can be the most challenging time of your life and let you know there is hope to find success with your health and what you're looking for. Please share and enjoy. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Hey, thanks for having me, Drew. I'm really kind of excited to be here today, and looking forward to having a little conversation.
All right, it's our pleasure. Why don't we jump into it? Tell us who you are, what you do, give our audience a chance to learn more about you.
Well, as a big overview, I've been in a fitness professional for 30 plus years now, and as a result of that, I've seen a lot of trends and a lot of things that just are misinformation when it comes to being healthy and fit, and not only physically, but mentally. You know, wellness, I think, as far as being a fitness professional, we have a very multi-layered role. Again, just to give you some background, I was a trainer to the stars. I traveled all over the country. I lectured on a bunch of things. I worked in the industry, giving lectures on a myriad of different topics. About 14 years ago, I was on a television show called Dud to Stud. It was a TV show where I was the trainer, and I took really skinny, scrawny little dudes and did the opposite of what everybody else does, which is take big fat people and make them skinny. I took skinny, scrawny fat people and made them big and fit. It was really more about fitness and changing their mindset and the way they approach things. Even though they were small and they didn't seem to be overweight, they were over fat. So their body fat process was off, and we worked through about 4 months of training and education and food and all kinds of things. And it was a very funny show. It was on Spike TV, and it was hosted by a playmate. So it was interesting in the approach. Fast forward, while I'm doing that show, we have a sponsor on the show, is a name of JumpSport Fitness. And they had a small product line that I thought was really cool, and they wanted me to use it as part of their programming. I became a part of their team. A very minor part of it at the beginning, worked my way up through the ranks, different capacities. And today I'm their business and product development director. And we are a international fitness sporting goods company that sells in 56 different countries. So that's the long and short of me.
All right. So what is your philosophy when it comes to fitness? Are you still doing fitness? Are you still working with individuals, or is it more of a product type of thing now? No.
I like to keep my hands in the industry, so I'm still and I hate to use this term, a master trainer. I think it's only because that I've been around so long and I have years and years of experience, and I've worked with multiple companies on many different levels. But I love to keep my hands in the game, and I do have clients. I still have my youngest client is about 9 years old. So getting people to understand the proper way to introduce people to fitness and strength training and things of that nature is really important. I think to foundationally bring people in the right capacity so they understand how to exercise properly and not get injured in the process. And then my oldest client is 92 years old, and up until very recently was driving. She unfortunately lost her hearing, so she's now relegated to train at her home. But I have a pretty wide spectrum of, prepubescent all the way through elderly or, deconditioned, what do they call them now? Silver sneaker. I'm kind of part of that group now too, even though I don't feel like I am. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. My philosophy on this whole thing is this: if you move a lot and you understand that fitness and wellness is all about a lot of components, not only just physically being active, but also fueling your body properly to maintain the lifestyle that you're trying to do. And that could be very different for anybody. I'm not a big proponent of any one type of eating program. I think that everybody's different. They all have a different fingerprints, and your eating program is very specific to you as a human being. And as far as fitness goes, again, there's no one one size fits all kind of program either. So maybe you're good with HIIT training, or maybe you're good with yoga, or maybe, whatever works for you. And here's what I tell you. So the greatest question I was ever asked is, what's the best kind of exercise? And I always say, the one that you'll do. So I don't care if I knew the greatest secret to exercise, and let's say it was jump roping for 20 minutes. That's how you started, but you hate jump rope. You're never going to do it. So my philosophy is, do what you like to do. Make sure that you get enough movement. You raise your heart rate significantly to benefit yourself on many levels. And I don't want to get into the science of all this. There's plenty of books that people can read about how much of each component that you need to do in order to be healthy, and specifically for yourself, given your limitations and time constraints. That's going to vary from person to person. But as a whole, if you eat healthy 80% of the time, which means you still go out, you eat popcorn or French fries or whatever 20% of the time, you exercise regularly 4 to 5 days a week, and you get plenty of rest and drink lots of water, more than likely that's going to be beneficial to you as a whole. Now, if you have grander goals than that, then obviously you have to train more specifically in order to accomplish that.
Do you help your clients set goals?
I think that's absolutely the first thing you do. If you don't have a goal when you come to me, I won't take you as a client.
So they set the goal. You don't set the goal with them.
Okay, so I create parameters to meet their expectations, so they need to have a goal of what they're trying to accomplish, whether it be fat loss or health or fitness or cardio or strength or endurance or whatever that is. That's their personal goal that they need to set. I help them understand that they have to have a goal. A lot of times people don't have any goals in this process, and then they struggle and they wonder why they go round and round, or they don't see a lot of results because they're not really headed in any one given direction. I always tell people, if you're headed to the airport, you're going to look at Waze and Google, and you're going to look at a map, or you're going to have a plan on how you're going to get there. If you just think that you can go into the gym and you're going to miraculously accomplish getting wherever you are, well, what if you don't even know where you're going? You don't just get in your car and randomly drive around and be like, well, wherever I end up, it's going to be fine. And I think people do that with fitness, especially in this day and age. There's so many things being thrown at them, and so many things are being told to them about this works or that works or this, that they haven't taken the time to figure out, what it is exactly do I want for myself, right? What am I trying to accomplish? Because the only way to get there and have a plan to get there is to know what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. And is that, so what's the biggest challenge? We see a lot of people that have challenges when it comes to setting goals in particular. They're not really sure where to start. How do you get them going with that?
Well, look, I always say my favorite question is, what's your why? This is how I get people started. So what is your why? Why are you here? Like, what is it that first question, and then a lot of times, sometimes they'll say, well, I just want to feel better. I go, that's a good start. So you're looking for general overall health. And then I guide them to their goals. Like I think a good teacher doesn't tell you what you need. A good teacher helps you understand and figure out what you want, and then gives you a plan on how to get there, right? I think my job is mostly to teach you how to fish, right? So if you tell me you want to eat for the rest of your life, I'm not, I'm going to go teach you how to fish so you can feed yourself. And it's the same thing with exercise. So I think a lot of people are afraid of failing at their goals. And so that's why they're hesitant in actually making goals. So I start by telling people that we're going to have different levels of goals for you. We're going to have short-term goals. We're going to have midterm goals, and we're going to have long-term goals. So the easiest ones to start with, which will show you some progress and you'll feel accomplished, is we're going to start by how many days a week are you going to come and work out with me? That's your goal. That's the only goal we're going to work on right now. You let me worry about working out, exercise. I'm going to do assessment. We're going to go through some basic exercises that are going to benefit you no matter what your overall long-term goal is going to be. Okay. And we're going to get you started. So we set small goals that they can build on and get little baby steps, so they eventually can get to a point where they feel comfortable with that. Right. Then as we move forward into that, we create, midterm goals. Like, so over the next 3 months, what would you like to see as you get accomplished in here? Would you like to lose body fat? Would you like to feel better? Would you like to, some of the thing, my one client says, I want to be able to go to Costco and pick up cases of water and not have to ask my husband to help me. Okay, there's a goal. So let's train. That to me says you need to get stronger, and you have to have good range of motion to be able to bend down. You need to learn how to lift properly. need to do a lot of things. So that gives me an idea of the type of training I'll need to do in order for you to be able to lift up cases of water at Costco, put them on the cart, put them in your car, and take them home. Right? So, and then the long-term goal is, I said, what is it you're trying to accomplish here? Is it just that you feel everybody's told you need to work out, so you're at the gym and that's why you're here? Or do you have a specific reason? Like, would you like to be a size 2? Would you like to be able to run a marathon? Like, I don't know. Those are very extreme kind of things. Like, are you want to want to lose a little body fat, or do you want to run a marathon? I know that's a big gap in between, but figuring out what somebody's motivation is down the road, now that they've gotten started, that they've actually just started their journey and they're committed to 2 or 3 days or 4 days a week, and so on and so forth. So they're starting to meet these short-term goals and they move into their midterm goals. And then we need to have something down the road that this midterm goal, now we can take what we did as far as strength training, and how do you want to translate that into something else that you like to do in life? Do you want to go paddleboarding in Maui on your vacation? Right? I've had people ask me for those kind of things. So we work into those goals a little at a time, and I think that makes it a lot more palatable, if that makes sense.
Sure. So, and you do nutrition with your clients as well?
I'm not a nutritionist, so I give a bit of guidance. I'll tell people about macronutrients so that they understand what it is they're eating, what that fuel does for their body, and why. And then they need to kind of play with, percentages, right? How much of each macronutrient works best for you to accomplish being able to work out, live your life, and let's say your goals are to lose weight or gain weight or whatever. I give them ideas of what would be the best plan to follow. And I also would refer them to a nutritionist as a whole. But your eating program, and I like to refer to it that as opposed to a diet, because it's a terrible 4-letter word that makes trillions of dollars for companies that sell people short-term results about things that they're not going to follow through on. And your food program is the same as your workout program. You need to do something that you know that you can do for the rest of your life. So it's all great if you start with, some sort of fasting and you drop 20 pounds, but are you going to fast, intermittent fasting, for the rest of your life? You got to find a program that works for you, that you know that you could do every day from now until the time that you're no longer here. And that's really important. That's what I coach my clients with as far as nutrition.
Tell me about JumpSport.
Well, JumpSport is a company that, like I told you, came on about 14 years ago, and they introduced it to me as a trampoline. And I'm like, I've had a trampoline. I don't, no big deal. And they bring out this thing, and it looks like a normal trampoline, but it's got bungee cords instead of springs. So I'm like, wow, that's cool. Right away, it's already less impact than a normal spring trampoline, and way less impact than the ground. So me being the kind of guy I am, I'm very creative. They nickname me McCarver, right? So my last name is Carver, and like MacGyver in the fitness industry, I'm like McCarver. So I can I use things unconventionally. So instead of just using it as a trampoline, I turned it into a platform. So I started using it for a jump box, and I figured if I could jump up on it, it'd be a softer landing. I started using it as a step platform. I used the frame because it has a curved leg design to do dips and a bunch of other kind of cool exercises with it. And I found that it became a very integral part of my toolbox, because that's what I think of when I think of all fitness equipment, is like having a toolbox. And it became a very versatile tool. It's kind of like that. What's that? It's like a Swiss Army knife, but it's the pliers that has everything. It has that. It's like that multi-tool you have in your little pouch on the side, where it has pliers, it has a file, it has all like it looks like a Swiss Army knife, only it's a pair of pliers, because it still has the knife and the saw and all those things. So that's kind of what a JumpSport trampoline is like. So it's just like way, way more than a trampoline, because I have yet to see what I can't do on the trampoline. As long as you can do it in the same space on the ground, you can do it on this trampoline. You're going to get more benefit out of it. What I found is that this particular unit puts you in a very unstable environment as opposed to an unstable platform. So the platform itself is extremely stable, but the surface that you're standing on now puts you in a situation where you have to engage more stabilizing muscles, right? And in the process of doing that, no matter what you're doing, you're going to burn anywhere from 20 to 30% more calories because of all the extra muscle recruitment that you have to do doing whatever you're doing on this product. So that in itself was really important for me, as far as why would I use this as opposed to doing it on the ground? Secondly, it's very portable. I can take it apart and put it in my car, and they have folding units and all kinds of things that people can have. It makes it very portable. I can do it in my living room. I can do it in the backyard. I can do it at the gym. I can take it to the park. I don't need a gym to do that. And then We also offer a myriad of accessories that help you navigate the whole process. So let's say you're afraid to get on a trampoline. Let's say you just look at it, looks like a trampoline. I don't want to be on it. Kind of scares me. Well, we have handlebars that are so stable that you can do full body weight exercises on it. We have configurations that we use in rehabilitation for people who are non-ambulatory, who are recovering from whatever and cannot do ground-based exercises and use this product for their exercise programming. I mean, that in a nutshell is what a JumpSport is like and what it's good for. It's also an amazing trampoline. So it is the thing that people are really excited about. Celebrities are really latching on. They're finding it to be a fun and exciting way to exercise. And I promise you, it is the funnest way that I've found to do cardiovascular exercise, bar none. I mean, I don't know if you've been on treadmills and ellipticals and all those things. They're kind of boring unless you're watching a movie and you're not going anywhere and it's kind of uninteresting. Whereas on a trampoline, you really have to pay attention, right? Not only that, you're increasing gravity as you bounce. And there's a couple of things about that. Number one, you have to deal with three-dimensional space, proprioception. So your body's ability to navigate in three-dimensional space, it's what we do every day, is increased. Secondly, one of the main benefits of increasing gravity, lymphatic flow is limp, and your lymphatic system is moved by movement and gravity. And so those two components are in essence the cornerstone of what you're doing while you're on a trampoline in general. So you're basically moving your lymphatic system, detoxifying your body, burning more calories, and I forgot to mention this. You get into your target zone quicker and you recover faster. So as a result, there was a test done by the American Council on Exercise using our product and one of our programs, and they found that 12 minutes on a trampoline doing our programming was equivalent to 20 minutes of running on a treadmill. So I don't know about you, but my time is very valuable. So I try my hardest to make sure that I get the most out of whatever I do, whether I'm at the gym or whether I'm at work or whatever I'm doing. My time is very valuable, so I try to maximize that whenever possible.
So tell me about what different exercises, because we see, so it looks like so you can explain, you explained it well, it looks like a trampoline. How is this different than a conventional type of rebounder? Okay,
well, like I said, first and foremost, in the old days, they all had springs. They were very loud. They squeaked. They were very heavy. Remember, you got all those springs are made out of steel, so you got to carry. If you wanted to carry them around, it wasn't a very light thing to do. The bungee cord process makes it really incredible. An old spring-based trampoline had a basic setting. So whatever the springs were set at, that's what you bounced at. If they as they wore in, they got a little looser, but pretty much you were going to have a pretty consistent bounce that was very, in my opinion, it wasn't as forgiving as it should have been. The cords allow for a very soft, deep bounce, which takes away all that impact. So there's the main difference between the two. Weight, impact, noise. The bungee system is very quiet. So you could have a sleeping baby next to you in the next room. You could be doing your workout on your trampoline, on the JumpSport, and the baby would not wake up because of how quiet it is. It's very light. We've removed all of that steel with the springs. The bungee cords are very light, so it's very portable. So it allows you to take it wherever you want and use it however you like. It's very versatile. Like I said, you have a myriad of different kind of programs that you could do on this platform that's going to be enhanced by the fact that you're working in a very unstable environment, which requires you to recruit more muscle. So it could be, you could be doing ballet, you could be doing bar method, you could be doing yoga, Pilates, cardio, dance, strength training. I could go down a long list of things. Not only that, JumpSport has an extensive line of accessories that allow you to convert your trampoline into different capacities. We have different configurations of handlebars. We have a strength training kit that was made for it out of bungee cords, so you can turn your trampoline into a gym. We have an accessory called a PlyoFit that turns it into a tilted accessory where you can throw things at it. You can jump on and off of it. So if you're an athlete, you do a lot of lateral work. Skiers love it. Skaters love it. I've got tons of athletes that use the product in that capacity. we have a wide range of products that can fit anybody from, what we like to say, we like to service children from 2 to 102. So that inner kid in you was jumping on the bed and you wanted to be a part of having a good time. And, we have a trampoline model size configuration that would fit anybody from the most deconditioned person all the way up to the most trained Olympic athletes.
One of the things I would like to ask of you guys is that some of you know that I don't run ads on the show and don't plan on in the immediate future. So the only ask I have for you is that you help us spread the word so we can help more women burn body fat, increase energy, and balance their hormones. And the only way that we can do that is if you can rate and review this podcast. So the single thing that I could have you do or could ask of you is to leave a review. It'll take 5 minutes or one swipe of the thumb. It would mean the absolute world to me. And more importantly, you could change the world for someone else. As many of you know, there's plenty of women that struggle in this age group for balancing hormones, increasing energy, and burning body fat. So if you could help spread the word, that would make a big difference in our life and probably someone else's as well. So when you're looking at cardio in particular, give us some ideas of what cardio looks like with the, you don't call it a trampoline.
No, you can call it a trampoline. That trampoline is great. It's your own personal mini trampoline.
Okay. So give us some.
It's way more than that, but let's just go as if it was just a trampoline, and that's entirely the only reason you wanted to use it. So my personal thing, I'm a big fan of HIIT training. Both on the ground and on the trampoline, I was a big fan of it. Doing cycling classes, that particular method of training is really beneficial to a lot of people when it comes to fat loss. So I was a big fan of it. And then introducing HIIT to the trampoline was the most incredible thing I ever did. So in literally 32 minutes, I had one of the most difficult exercise programs I'd ever tried personally myself. And I've been exercising even as a youth athlete since I was about 12 years old. It's very challenging. Again, like I told you, you're recruiting more muscle, you're burning more calories. On the trampoline, you're going to burn in excess of 800 calories an hour, depending on your effort. But if you're doing HIIT training, I would probably say that that's somewhere 600 to 800 calories an hour as far as caloric burn. That's just one methodology. Running, I have runners that use it on days that are inclement and they don't want to go run in the snow or the rain or the sleet or whatever, and they want to still get in a training session. So they will jog or high knee run or do intervals on the trampoline in front of watching the TV or doing whatever they're doing. You can do dance-based stuff. Look, here's my favorite. I just like to put music on in my headphones and just dance and just bounce. You don't have to here's the beautiful thing about the trampoline. You don't even have to have a program. As long as you raise your heart rate for a certain amount of time and you enjoyed doing it at the end of the day, you got in a workout, right? So it can be a very unstructured workout. But we have dance-based, Pilates-based. They do salsa, hip-hop. I mean, I could give you hundreds of those kind of programs, but also just basic stuff like calisthenics, jumping jacks, front to back, skiers, moguls, like any kind of those movements, but, combined with other arm movements, it can be very basic. And you don't have to be you don't have to be going like 140 BPM, right? You see all these people on the interview on the internet and you're watching them do videos and they're like, oh my God, I could never do that. And honestly, people, I can't do that. And I've been doing this for a long time. So what we recommend is that you do it at a pace that's comfortable. And that's somewhere around 124 beats a minute. It's very doable. It doesn't need to be all out crazy, dying kind of a program in order for it to be effective because of the extra muscle recruitment. And that's the beauty of this platform. You are going to enhance whatever it is you love to do in this amount of space. So really, technically, when you ask me that, it's pretty much anything you like doing on the ground. You can jump rope. Like I have people that jump rope on the trampoline. It's a little more difficult. And sometimes they do a ropeless jump rope, but that's what they like to do. And they don't want the impact of jumping on the ground. So they do it on the trampoline. So just about any kind of cardio can be done on this platform if you can do it in the same space as the platform that you're on.
Do you guys run, any instructors run fitness classes with them?
Oh my gosh, we have fitness classes all over the world. So we actually have a streaming site that comes with the product that gives you 60 days of access to programming. So you can find out what works for you, what you love, what you like to do. That's included in the product. And You can also go on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's tons of free content to follow along, or you can join other streaming services that have it. There are, brick and mortar facilities all over the United States, as well as Canada and the rest of the world. I can't think of any off the top of my head in Canada at this moment, but I do know that we have distribution in Canada. Like, we have 3 different distribution hubs in Canada. So it's a very popular sport in Canada, so to speak. I like to think of it as a sport. We just did the JumpSport Fitness Games down in Mexico, which was really fun, and used the trampoline in a way that most people had no idea, because this product stacks. You can jump on it like a jump box. We have a sled accessory that turns it into a 360-degree sled that you can push or pull. Handlebars, plyo fits. We incorporated that all inside this type of an obstacle course style program where people had to compete against each other. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. And it was really an amazing community building event, more so than I thought. I thought it was going to be more competitive, and it turned out to be just everybody cheering for everybody and rooting everybody on. So it really develops a camaraderie when you become part of a bounce community. You will find that you have a lot of people out there that will support you, even if you're struggling.
That sounds awesome. We have to wrap things up here, Steve. Is there anything we missed before? Anything you wanted to mention before we wrap things up?
No, I think we covered probably covered too much of it. I tend to talk too much. So, but I appreciate you giving me an audience to listen, and I hope they enjoyed what I had to share with them. And I appreciate your time.
You betcha. So tell us a bit more where we can find it, or more information about the product.
You can go to jumpsport.com/fitness to find more information about the fitness product. That's our website. And then if you want to go to Instagram, we're at JumpSport Fitness. We have a bunch of at JumpSport Fitnesses all over the world, but the one from the United States is just at JumpSport Fitness. We're also, I think we're under JumpSport Fitness Trampolines on YouTube, but don't quote me on that one. But if you just type in JumpSport Fitness on YouTube, our site will pop up for you. Okay.
So, and then you sell them directly on the website, right?
Yeah, we do sell direct to the customer. So if you have questions, even in Canada, we can work out and get you. If you contact us in the United States, we will contact you directly with somebody in the country of your origin. So no matter where you're listening to this podcast at, more than likely we have somewhere close to you that can bring a JumpSport to you as quickly as possible.
Awesome. All right, Steve, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate you sharing sounds like you're passionate about the product and health, and we wish you guys all the best with it.
Thanks, Drew. Really appreciate coming.